Hey there! In this video I'm gonna show you the whole process of making a nice symmetrical back dart on a striped shirt. Also, I'm showing a few tips and tricks to make your darts neat, crisp and sharp. So let's get to work. First of all, we're gonna need a back pattern and a back piece cut out of striped fabric. If you don't have a proper shirt pattern, you're welcome to enroll into my online bespoke shirt making course. The details are in the description below. If you do have a pattern and work with plain fabric, for example, you just place a pattern on top, transfer the dart, and that's it. But that's not the case here. We got to find a new center of the dart that's gonna run through a stripe we want. For starters, let me show how to find a basic dart position for plain fabrics, for example. There is a simple way. Measure the back, excluding the seam allowance of course, and divide it in half. So I divided 30 centimeters in half, getting 15 centimeters, and that's my, let's say, default dart position. But I want the center line of the dart run through the very center of the narrow stripe. Here comes the question, where should I move my dart position? Don't move it towards the center back, because in this case two darts are gonna be too close to each other, visually narrowing down the back, and in my opinion it doesn't look very nice. So the only option is to move it one or two stripes closer to the side seam. So I moved my center dart one stripe closer to the side seam from its original position, and I'm marking it with a pen. To make things faster, I'm transferring the dart length from my initial shirt pattern. What we got here is the new position of the dart. I moved it a bit to the side seam to match the stripe I need. Now, to make it perfectly symmetrical, the next step is to find the middle of it. I can transfer its shape from the pattern, or just divide its length in half and get what I need. Here comes the important part. So we want these two stripes stitched together right through their very centers. It can be tricky at first, especially with thin stripes, but with practice you'll get used to it, and it is totally worth the effort and time. And I just finished shaping the dart, marking only one side of it, also to save me some time, of course. I fold it in half using the center I marked before, and I step through both stripes with a pin to make sure their centers are aligned. Okay, now I have to secure both sides of the dart in place, and here you have two options. Base the dart together with a fine thread and a very sharp and thin needle, but I recommend you to pin it together. I'm not a big fan of basting shirt fabrics and then removing threads, and also pinning saves you a lot of time. And while you pin the both sides of the dart together, make sure all stripes are parallel. Now, let's take a closer look at the most important area. It is the place where two stripes are coming together, making a new one. So, here is the middle of the dart. As you can see, I pinned two stripes through the marked centers, so this is where our machine stitch has to run. When machining the shirt darts, I don't use backstitch in the corners. Instead, I stitch a bit, make a turn with the needle at the end and stitch again. This method prevents the corners from puckering. I don't cut off the remaining threads. Instead, I pull the bottom thread to the top and make several knots. You can just clip them off, of course, but this way I think it looks neat and tidy. Okay, what we got here is the dart stitched together, but it is still not the end. I have to give it a shape with an iron. Surprisingly, there is a lot of iron work and shaping in a bespoke shirt. What I'm doing here is giving the dart a proper stretch from the center to its corners. The little wave I created, that is what I was aiming for. It helps the dart lay nicely on the curved back without wrinkling and pulling the seam. So let's see what we achieved here. Two stripes are coming together at the waist, creating one single stripe that visually matches the others. Another great detail is that we avoided puckering in the corners by replacing a back tag with a stitch, turn and stitch technique that gave us nice and smooth finishing without puckering and wrinkling. And of course, visually we created a nice hourglass shape that will make the back look more athletic and aesthetic. Subscribe to my Instagram, I communicate there a lot. Also, don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section, I try to reply each one of them. So, see you all in our next bespoke tailoring tutorial. Bye!